turning 250, and it's time to rock out with our forefathers. American-made, battle-ready style for true patriots. Whether you're marching in the parade, grilling in the backyard, or raising a toast to liberty, do it in the gear that screams freedom. Celebrate 250 years of USA in style. Wear your American pride loud. Trendjackers.etsy.com. Grab yours before the fireworks.
Okay, good idea.
They just go with the flow. It's the Herschy and Keegs show.
Welcome to Hershey and the Keegs Show, starring pitcher Mark Hirschman and his personal catcher, Mike Keegan. Every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. live from the Governor's Comedy Club radio studio. Thanks so much for listening. Welcome to Hershey and the Keegs Show, starring pitcher Mark Hirschman and his personal catcher, Mike Keegan. Every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. live from the Governor's Comedy Club radio studio. Thanks so much for listening. Welcome to Hershey and the Keegs.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Tony and Mark, do you guys know what that means?
Tell us what it means, Michael.
That means that this is the Hershey and the Keegs Show.
It is, yeah.
Which we bring to you every Tuesday night at 9 p.m.
It feels
from
that way.
Gov's Radio Podcast Studio.
It does.
Let's do it. Let's have some fun. We have a great guest. I don't know if you know, we're all kind of wearing the same, Tony's not.
No, Tony is. But Tony always says he's not on camera, so it doesn't matter.
He's blue and orange.
But he's in the Islanders color.
It might give it away who we're going to interview tonight. It's going
Right.
to be a really good show. We're excited to be here.
We are super
We're excited
excited.
for our guest.
We are.
We
Yeah.
had a great event last week that we're going to talk about. And
Yes.
It's good to see you boys. I love it.
We're
here. We're gonna have
talk
fun.
about a lot. We should go ahead and preface that our guest tonight is a direct result of some really wonderful people who I've gotten to know through you, and then we've gotten to know through Frank Loicano. So as Mike and I, published on our social media last week, and we've been pushing on this show for the past 2 years, we've gone to a wonderful event for a group called Think Happy. And Think Happy essentially is one of the most remarkable groups of people that I've ever encountered. Essentially, they basically help children who have lost either a parent or a sibling, and they make kind of dreams come true for them.
Yeah.
And
you're not the most fiscally
right. Spendthrift.
You're not a spendthrift.
Yeah.
It's not a cheap ticket.
No.
We go every year.
Yeah.
Because you walk out of there and you feel good.
Yes, that's
we have
right.
a good time at the event. You walk out of there, you feel good. We'll tell you guys a little bit about.
Yeah, listen, again, we have made connections with these wonderful people, and because of Frank Loicano, who's a longtime buddy of you, and Frank Loicano is connected to Think Happy. And
I've known Frank since I'm a little kid.
A little boy.
I grew up with his son Anthony.
That's right. So essentially, the Think Happy people, this is an organization that was created by Karen Pesner, by Allison Pesner, and their dad Stan, and their mom, who is
Stan.
He's a mensch of all
pillar
mensches
of the community.
He's a wonderful man. The daughters are wonderful. I haven't gotten a chance to meet their mom, who we have heard speak before, and she is a retired, I believe it's a hospice care nurse.
Yes.
So you're talking, the level of quality of these human beings is beyond anything that you and I could ever approach.
No.
So for us, when we're in the presence of these different celebrities at these events, and for the past couple of years, we've had a chance to meet Bobby Nystrom and Dwight Gooden and Jiz McDonald,
well, that's what it is. It's a little bit self-serving for us, because I got to meet Jim Leyritz this year, who's one of my favorite baseball players of all time.
Yeah.
Get to hang out with Doc Gooden, but you feel good when you leave there because it's great for the kids. And,
Yes.
and I think Passover season's among us.
Correct.
I think we are able to say, I think Stan Pesner, I think we can call him a mensch.
He's a mensch.
I call the man a mensch.
He's a nice man.
I'm goyim, but I will call the man a mensch. Is that okay with you,
Well,
Mark?
you're like you're like an honorary Jewish fella.
That's what I've always been told.
You're a classy gentleman, but
Thank you.
like I said, I've gone for the last 2 years to the Think Happy event. You've gone for several years, and I can't picture myself not ever going. And no, it's not because I get a chance to sit there and annoy Jim Leyritz for 20 minutes as you're taking pictures of me talking to him.
If I send Tony a picture, maybe he could put it up a little bit later.
Probably, yeah, he probably could do that. Yeah. So.
But, I was one of our good friends, Rosie Fiumara, came with us.
Yeah.
And I look over at Rosie. I'm like, "What the hell is Mark doing? Why is he on one knee in front of Jim? Is he proposing to Jim Leyritz?"
You know what it was. In retrospect, looking at the photo that you took of me talking to Jim Leyritz, it does look like a little bit of a creep show type of thing. But I promise you, for the 15 minutes or so that I was talking to him, he was fully engaged. I mean,
he was
definitely engaged. There's no question question about it. And yeah, so you know what? While we're waiting for Jigs, we don't normally take calls, but I can see that is a pretty special call, and I think we want to go ahead and take it. Right. Let's go ahead. John Rusiello, hi sir. How are you?
John Rusiello, hello.
How are you, Mark? Can I have a moment of your time, if you don't mind?
Yeah, man, absolutely. Fire away.
Okay, how you doing?
I'm good, buddy. How are you?
Good. You're an avid horse player.
I am.
Have you been following the Aqueduct card recently?
I've been following it, and it's making me nauseous. And the only hope that I have for the sport in New York is that this opening of Belmont in a few months is going to be a resurrection of what has turned out to be a kind of a dying sport in New York. But 45 horses, 8 races, 6 horses in a race. It's not impressive, and I'm guessing that's what you're making reference to right now.
Well, I'm making reference to that, and you're very astute. And also, if it wasn't for Linda Rice, there would be no card.
Yeah, I mean, it's become a very, very top-heavy type of game where Linda Rice, and then certainly before long, you're going to have the Pletchers come in, and you're going to have the Brad Coxes come in, and other of the Blue Bloods. But the way things are going right now, it's a very, very frustrating thing from my perspective as a kid who has loved this sport since I'm a little boy. Right now, it's kind of the bottom of the bottom. So let's just go ahead and hope that greener pastures are ahead, pardon the pun, and eventually it'll go back to the way it was, the way you knew it from when you were younger and the way that I knew it as a kid.
Last comment. Kendrick Carmouche, who is my favorite of all time.
Yeah.
I think he's in the class of Cadero.
Yeah.
Went to Parks today. He's actually going to Parks and different racetracks.
Yeah.
All right, which was very interesting.
Yeah, well,
I just wanted to get your opinion.
Well, so, Kendrick is actually originally from that area. He used to ride in Philadelphia Park, or now it's called Parks.
Yes.
And so, what happens
is...
Yeah, I mean, essentially these guys, a hungry guy like Carmouche, who his brother Sylvester used to ride also back in the day, these are guys who they just want to go ahead and they want to make money, they want to stay relevant, and they go where the opportunity is. So, Parks, because the casinos, the purses have gotten to be pretty good, the cards are better than what we're accustomed to, and, ultimately I did see that. I wasn't surprised, and like I said, I'm hoping beyond hope that, when Belmont opens, and it's going to be a spectacular thing from what I've seen on site and read about and heard about through the grapevine. I think
Grapevine.
The grapevine. It's different than the grapevine. It's totally different.
It's like the racing.
It's a racing version of it. Yeah. So
I agree, though.
Last comment, and I'll let you go.
No, please go ahead, buddy.
All right, but I agree and I disagree with you.
Yeah.
Here's a jockey with 4,000 wins.
Right.
4,000 wins, and he has to go on his day off. I don't think it's about money.
Yeah.
On his day off, all right, because there's not enough racing cards. The racing secretary in NYRA can't fill the card.
Right.
8 races, which is totally embarrassing.
Yeah.
He has to go back.
Yeah.
By the way, the owners are not New York owners. I follow that as well.
Yeah, of course.
They're not New York owners.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, absolutely, it's tough. But listen, man, it's good to hear your voice. You sound healthy. Our guest
Love you,
is.
man. Talk to you.
Hey, man.
Great show. I watch you all the time. I don't call in.
Yeah.
No, John, thank you so much, John. It's good to hear from you. And like you said, I'm excited for when Belmont opens too. I think it's going to change the game for us.
And you sound healthy to us, and you're always welcome to check in with us. And we love you.
Call in anytime. I've heard that recently I've become his favorite comedian.
Gesundheit, gesund. Thank you, my friend.
Take care.
And with no
over the
further
last
ado,
couple of weeks, I've been becoming his favorite comedian. I've heard.
You're my favorite comedian, other than
much,
Tony. With no further ado, we are going to bring in certainly someone that we've gotten a chance to meet a couple of times over the past couple of years. We are decked out in our Islander attire, and it is beyond an honor to bring on the legendary Jigs McDonald. Hello, Mr. McDonald. How are you?
Oh, it's not Mister. It's just old McDonald or Jigs.
Old McDonald.
Hello,
Jigs.
McDonald. How are you?
You know what?
I'm fine, thanks.
It's nice to see you. We saw you last week, and here we are. And listen, I know from talking to you, and Mike feels the same way. Someone of your stature to be as humble as you are, it's really fantastic. But it is important that we go ahead and we toss out some accolades and remind people that you are the premier in our book, the legendary play-by-play caller for the NHL for over 50 years, the Islander play caller for 3 of their Stanley Cups, the recipient of the prestigious Foster Hewitt Memorial Award given by the Hockey Hall of Fame, and beyond that, and I think more importantly, just a wonderful man who has never failed to give back, and that's how we know you. And welcome to the Herschy and Keegs show, Jigs.
Well, I appreciate that, but it wasn't necessary at all. I'm just a very, very lucky guy.
Yeah, you are a lucky guy, and everyone who knows you feels the same way about you. You know, we touched on it at the beginning, and again, my connection to Think Happy is through Mike's friend Frank Loicano, who's become a dear friend of mine, and his connection runs very deep with Think Happy through the Pesner family, Karen, Allison, and Stan. Can you just touch on a little bit how your original connection came to be with this wonderful family and this wonderful organization, Think Happy?
Probably with Allison's husband.
Oh, okay.
Richard, the Shaky Krause was the equipment guy with the New York Islanders for a long time. I came back to fill in for Howie Rose.
Yeah.
And season started in Arizona. So flight to Phoenix, I'm sitting next to Shaky. And we get talking, and Shaky is telling Amy about the young lady that he would like to get to know better rather than just giving her a hockey puck or gum or whatever at the players' bench night after night. And it turned out that it was Allison, and later down the road, several years, I got to officiate at their marriage. Yeah. And
I only found that out this year. I didn't know.
I didn't know that now. I just found that out now. Well, listen, for Mike and I have talked about it on this show. Previous to next year's Think Happy event, we are going to have the whole Pesner family. They're going to be welcomed in for a full hour in studio with Frank Loicano because, as you've seen in the past few years, this Think Happy event is just all about goodness and all about helping and love and generosity and lack of selfishness, and I see it in your eyes when I sit near you during these events. You love every single minute of it, don't you?
I do. The stories are fantastic year after year. The young mother with their 2 children this year, and the children of other families, what they have gone through, losing a loved one, whether it was father, grandparents, someone in hospice. It takes a toll. It takes a major toll, and just to see the smiles on the faces of these young people because somebody understood, somebody gave them something that they needed, not a fantasy thing, something that helped them, and it helped them in all likelihood to get over the loss and just put a smile on their face, made them happy. So let's all think happy and support this program. And to have people, I know I'm going on and on here,
Please.
But to have people like Doc Gooden involved, I mean, what a life that man had in and out of sports. And this year to have Jim Leyritz there, Bobby Nystrom has always supported. Patty LaFontaine has been, as you know, and so many others.
Benoit Hogue.
Yeah, Hoagie. Yeah.
Listen, I spent, Mike made fun of me. He said that I spent 20 minutes talking Jimmy Leyritz's ear off, but certainly as a diehard tattooed Yankee fan who was at Game 1 of the 95 playoffs for the Yankees, Game 2, when Leyritz hit the home run at 1 o'clock in the morning, he kind of, he could understand that I had true passion for what he has done, and obviously now, my appreciation for him for what he's doing for this wonderful organization.
I told Jim Leyritz, I said I was 13 years old when he hit that home run at 1 o'clock in the morning. My mother let me stay up that late to watch that home run, and I'll never forget. It's like one of those things you'll never forget where you are.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead,
He would have enjoyed your comments and you telling him where you were, what you were doing, your age when that happened, because he was just as down to earth. I hadn't met Jim prior to last Monday night,
Oh wow.
but what an amazing man.
Yeah, he's a total mensch, and
Yeah.
one of the things that I was a little caught off guard about or surprised about last year was all of a sudden legendary play-by-play announcer who I've known since I'm basically 10 years old back in the 1980 was all of a sudden literally the most impressive auctioneer that I've ever seen in my entire life.
Wow.
So how did that come about?
I was blown away the first year that I saw it,
Yeah.
because I was there 2 years before Mark even went there.
Yeah.
And when I started telling him, like, Jim McDonald's there, and he's auctioning off the silent auction, I'm like, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell us, was that just something that you, did you have any previous experience as an auctioneer previous to Think Happy, or this is just something you picked up?
Not as a real auctioneer.
Yeah.
Trust me. No, this is just something that I was asked to do. I think I'd done one back in the Atlanta days, so we're going way back at a fundraiser, but I hadn't done it on a regular basis. When I was asked by Karen and Allison if I would do it, I said, yeah, I can do that.
Yeah.
I'm not hey, well, all right, sir, get it going a half a mile or 10 miles an hour and getting bids all over. But you have to work the room. You've got to be able to play off some people.
Yes.
And fortunately, I was able to do that. It was a little difficult this year, though, I thought. And I don't know if that was economy driven, but it was a little tough to get the numbers up to where they probably should have been.
What's interesting is that you were up there with Dwight Gooden, and again, this is something that I'm always in awe. I was 14 years old when Dwight Gooden came up, or maybe 13, and for people who don't know, who are a little bit younger than us, in my 40-something years of being a diehard New York sports fan, you can take Mattingly, you can take LT. There was no bigger iconic athlete in all of sports than Dwight Gooden. When he came up in 84, 85, if you remember, right on Broadway, there was a humongous size mural of him painted on a building.
The biggest sports market in the country.
Sports market in the country. I mean, every single magazine cover. And this guy is just, I'm sitting there eating chicken fingers sitting next to Dwight Gooden. I mean, it was just unbelievable. And you were able to get his jersey auctioned off for a good price. At the beginning, people were a little bit tight, but Jiggs did his magic, and you got some good loot out of the people for that.
Yeah, and Doc goes back. I was involved with Sports Channel and coverage of the New York Mets in '83, and of course Doc came along the next year. And wouldn't it have been fun to get to know him as a player back then, and now, of course, as his post career and mine as well in the marketplace. But a year ago, we shared some memories about Bill Mombaquet. Bill had been the pitching coach for the Mets, as you know, Mike. And of course, Doc had him in the minor leagues when Bill would travel around before Doc came up to the Mets. And Mambo was just a huge hockey fan. In fact, probably two or three of the other coaches on that team were big hockey fans, not just Islanders fans, but hockey fans in particular. Frank and I talked hockey on a couple of road trips like you couldn't believe. And and I'm digressing here, but one of the things that came up in the discussion was, why did the hockey players or teams go out at 10:30, 11:30 in the morning, get all sweaty, practice, and then don't play again until 7:30 at night? I said, well, you guys are the ones making the mistake. You go out, you run the outfield, you take batting practice, you do all these things at 4:30, 5, 6 o'clock, and play at 7. Wear yourself out and then play the game. Does that make any sense? But it was such a fun time, fun experience, traveling at that time with people like Bob Murphy, Ralph Kiner, of course. I just dearly loved everybody on that crew, and being able to talk sports, baseball, hockey, whatever.
So I didn't realize that. So Mambo was a hockey guy. You just mentioned Hondo, who was also obviously a legendary player, coach for the Yankees as well. What other coaches were hockey guys back then?
I'm trying to remember the manager.
Well, Davey Johnson was the manager, obviously, by '84.
It was prior to Davey.
George Bamberger, maybe, was it?
Yes, Bam.
Oh,
George,
wow, look at that.
Bam was fantastic.
And
At John Stearns a little bit,
Yeah.
and
Catcher Gray passed away not that long ago. Wonderful Met player.
The major discussion about whether you work out in the morning at night was the pitcher Lynch,
Ed Lynch.
Ed Lynch.
Yeah.
Eddie Lynch. Yes, yeah,
Yeah. Look at that. He was. I believe he won a ring for '86 Mets. Did he not, Tony? I think Lynch. Or was he gone by then already?
He was released earlier that year. So
okay. You know what? There was a couple of guys. George Forster was also released during '86. Mm-hmm. But and I digress, Jigs. You know, one of the things that I've always, and we talked to Brian Compton about this and other hockey guests that we've had, that there's something about when players come to the Islanders, and these are very often Canadians like a Bobby Nystrom or a Benny Hogue, and these guys, they settle down and they just love Long Island. I remember meeting I'm wearing a Clark Gillies jersey right now. He was my favorite player as a little boy, and I met him at a couple of events, and these players came from Ottawa and Calgary, and they decided to plant their roots here on Long Island. How do you explain the love for these players having, falling in love with Long Island after living in Canada their whole lives originally?
I think it's the lifestyle, the proximity to the city, the proximity to the beaches, just the overall climate, the weather. Yeah, you can get some miserable snowstorms, as we know.
Yeah.
But you're not subject to hurricanes like we are here in Florida, or the tornadoes or things that rip through other parts of the country. The acceptance of the hockey families. You mentioned Clarkie. Pam still lives on Long Island. I believe one or two of the Gillies daughters put down roots there. Benny, as you mentioned, Jean Papin before he passed away. Butchie, not just because he is working, but Long Island is home and will be. It's basically lifestyle and acceptance of the good things that Long Island offers.
And that's our thing. Long Island, Nassau Coliseum, that's our thing. The Long Island Islanders.
Yeah.
And you get
so nice
capture our heart. You capture our hearts. And look at the late '80s. Those guys walk into Dr. Generosities or Zachary's and or Buttles and they were the stars of the show. And Long Island loves those guys.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You know, the one thing that I missed, the golf courses. The hockey players love their golf, and Long Island has some amazing, outstanding, challenging golf courses.
Yeah. I imagine you're doing okay with golf down there, Jigs, considering you're in in Florida. Now, I'm curious. I don't know if this is because I'm biased or Mike's biased or Tony, our producer, is also a diehard Islander fan. You called games for 50 plus years, and the Islanders were only a part of that. Yet you got to call the last three cups, the '96 reunion. You were there. You were the host for that. We feel as Islander fans that Jigs McDonald is ours. Is that fair? I mean, are we just being biased because we're Islander fans, or?
No, you're absolutely right. The Islanders are number one in my series of teams or franchises that I work for or called games for. I have to admit that one of the first things I do in the morning, because I can't stay up that late anymore, is check to see what happened out west. How did the Kings do?
Yeah.
Panthers enter in there as well. That franchise, when I unfortunately left the island when I did and became involved with the Panthers probably 2 or 3 years later, that franchise was very good to me, and I respect their situation, the fact that they were able to win 2 Stanley Cups and now run into all the injury problems, but they'll be back. But the Islanders, and I owe a lot of that to Howie Rose. It was Howie's idea that I come back to fill in so that he could get some time off.
Sure.
And the acceptance by the fans and players, everybody involved, TV crew especially, just meant an awful lot to me.
Yeah, we certainly, I have and I don't know if it's the connection that I love the team with my late dad who loved the Islanders, and, he loved Gillies and he loved Potvin, and, for him, the highlight was turning on the TV and seeing Eddie Westfall and Jiggs McDonald. I mean, that was like everything to my late dad. One of the things, and I want you to either confirm or dispute this, but when you were calling games originally, you were going by your regular name, and then it was a very famous passed on sports owner, Jack Kent Cooke, who wanted you to go back to your childhood nickname of Jiggs. Is there any truth to that story?
There's truth, yes. I was always Ken McDonald until 1967 when I went to Los Angeles, and it was Jack Kent Cooke who insisted that I had a nickname. It made a very good point. I didn't understand it at the time, but since then I have respected his decision. His decision being that Ken McDonald was just as plain as could be, in one ear and out the other. You didn't have to say, "Excuse me, what did you say your name was?" And it stuck. When I went to Atlanta 5 years later, I was given the opportunity to go back to Ken to drop Jiggs, and I said, no, everybody in the league knows me as Jiggs.
You already established.
Yeah. I couldn't change that back. So it goes back to getting the job at the Kings. It's the original expansion came along, and the owner.
Now, when you were a little boy growing up in, I believe it was Galt, Ontario, Canada, was your dream to be a hockey player, or was it a dream to be an announcer? I mean, how did this Jiggs McDonald life come about?
No, the dream was to be a player, to be on the bench, to score the Stanley Cup winning goal, all of those things that every boy dreams about growing up. But I was a big lad. Let's just say I carried a lot of weight. Skating backwards as a defenseman didn't come easily.
I have no idea what you're talking about, Jiggs. That's exactly
getting one leg over the boards and trying to get the other one. As a kid player, I knew the game, loved the game, knew the game inside. I just couldn't get there to do it.
Yeah.
So as things went along and I got into the radio business, the next best thing was being a play-by-play broadcaster.
Yeah.
And it just went from there.
Yeah, I think it turned
out
okay.
Maybe one of these days for both of us, we'll get there. Me and Jiggs.
Well, you and Jiggs will go backwards
Me and
skating
Jiggs will
together
go back
over at Eisenhower next year. We'll have Jiggs come in. We'll do that. Jiggs, I know that you're still in touch with Eddie Westfall. Tell us what your relationship's like to this day with Eddie.
We just laugh. We laugh about things that we did together. Dinners, things, off days on the road, movies, movie choices. We laugh about the state of the game, how it's changed, how the financial aspect of it has changed. And we talk a little bit about broadcasting on a rare occasion, and it comes down to, did you hear so-and-so, or what do you think of this play-by-play guy or this analyst?
Yeah.
And the use of the word back comes into play. We talk more about golf and just, what each of us are doing, what our travel schedule's like, where he's going. He's about 25 miles down the road from me. We've only seen one another a couple of times this season, but we...
Still there. The relationship is strong.
Yep, we do.
I love that. Do you guys, I mean, listen, it's really, I'm sure when it was happening, when you were calling cup after cup after cup, you probably didn't realize at the time just the impact that run, the impact it had. I mean, we were seeing not only some of the best players with Potvin and Nystrom and Gillies and so forth, but you also, I'm sure, had some sort of relationship with arguably the best hockey coach that we have ever seen in Al Arbor. Can you talk a little bit about Coach Arbor, may he rest in peace, and what your relationship with him was like?
I got to know Al a little bit with the Atlanta Flames. In fact, Al worked for the Flames the year before he became the Islanders coach, And I questioned Cliff Fletcher after the fact, Cliff being the GM in Atlanta at the time, why he let Al go. He said, well, I didn't have a job other than scouting and glad handing, but primarily scouting, and Al wanted to coach, and I wasn't going to hold him back. Um, so from the Atlanta days to coming to Long Island, and I'd done several interviews with Al in Atlanta and found him just to be so down to earth, so honest. And when I got to know him better working for the Islanders, I certainly caught on quickly as to just how this man was a sports psychologist before we'd even heard the term sports psychologist.
Sure.
He knew exactly what he could get out of each and every one of 20 different players or 25, whether it took a pat on the back, a little side conversation over here, or a kick in the rump. He knew what made every player tick. Plus, he had a great off-ice assistant who never got the credit she should have in Mrs. Arbor. Claire Arbor, at that time, the coaches' wives were welcome in the players' wives' room. She knew if the family had grandparents or aunts, uncles, or brothers or sisters in town, if they were out every night to a different restaurant, if they're into the city, to Broadway, or if they had a kid who wasn't doing well in school, or they had a colicky kid, if there were things going on at home, she was able to clue Al in. Take it easy on so and so, such and such is going on. Al had a pipeline, and as I say, knew exactly what was going on with his team.
Now, I'm curious because we've talked with a lot of different sports reporters from multiple sports, multiple cities. Now, with all due respect, we'll say that Bill Belichick is arguably one of the greatest coaches of all time, but very often I don't hear players speak with him with the reverence that I have with an Al Arbor or a Terry Francona or someone who has managed to win at a very high level and still have the real deep love of his players. Would you say that generally speaking, Arbor had that respect from his players, that he was, even though he was a tough coach, that he was beloved by them?
Absolutely. He was beloved by everybody that ever played for him. I don't know of one single player from that era or any of the time from Al's arrival on Long Island to his last game who didn't have anything but respect or good things to say about Al Arbor. Same isn't true of people like Mike Keenan or John Tortorella. I'm shocked that Torts is back in the league, but probably shouldn't be. No, there was never anybody that went away hating Al's guts.
It's amazing. Can you touch on, I'm glad you brought up Torts. To me, hockey is the only sport that you'll ever see a team go to the end of the season in a playoff spot, 8 games left. We know that Lou Lamoriello did this years ago. He brought in, who was it called? Larry. They want to win in the cup, I believe. Hockey teams will make changes with 10 games left in the regular season and bring in a guy like Torts. Can you just explain that why hockey is the only sport that actually you see that happen?
I wish I could.
Okay.
I really wish I could, boys.
Yeah.
And general managers. I mean, here's Toronto this late in the season. Yeah, they were going to make a change. They had to make a change because that thing had to be, or Toronto has to be blown up and reorganized. But to do it this late, Buffalo obviously making the change with Kevin Adams early on got the results they were looking for. And this is really rare to say that firing a general manager gets your team fired up and plays better.
Yeah.
I don't know that it's happened more than maybe 2 or 3 other times, but the Buffalo story is amazing. Toronto is something else, but to see Torts come back, it's a league that recycles its coaches. It always have. I think back to a column when Bob Pulford first became the coach in Chicago, not so much in L.A., but when he got the job after coaching the Kings and went to Chicago. A columnist with, I believe, the Globe and Mail in Toronto wrote, "Welcome to the lodge, Mr. Pulford. You'll never be out of work again.
Oh, fantastic.
Isn't it?
That's
But you look at the number of coaches that have been here, there, and everywhere, and are recycled, and a lot of head coaches back of the bench in other cities as assistants now, just waiting for an
yeah.
opportunity to come along again.
It's kind of amazing. You look at Rick Bowness is a guy in his 60s now, but Rick Bowness was an Islander coach when I was a kid. Now, and I think he's coached 7 teams, and maybe he'll take a year off, and then he'll wind up in Vancouver and somewhere else. And it's really just an incredible phenomenon. Getting back to Lou Lamoriello, who you obviously know, I believe at least once and maybe twice he fired his coach and he stepped in and he coached himself.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, get out of here. I'll take over and I'll win the Stanley Cup. Maybe the guy that he really wanted wasn't available, but he wanted this guy out. I can't explain it.
Yeah.
Lou again is a different personality, but a sensational, credible, more than credible hockey mind.
Yeah.
And the ability to. Much like Bill Torrey did. Bill Torrey and Al Arbor knew exactly what it took to put a team together, team being in capital letters, who would complement one another, whether they played the left side or the right side, or whether they played the point on the power play or only killed penalties. They were sensational in that respect, and Lou had the same. Lou could see who would play off one another, be a better complement to his centerman than a lot of GMs in the league.
Yeah, I certainly hope that when Lou Lamoriello's story is written, people will remember that he was the architect for 3 Stanley Cups in New Jersey. And yeah, his Islander years weren't amazing; they weren't terrible, but certainly he didn't have the same level of success. But the bottom line is, just like Bill Torrey was the architect of the Islanders and a Hall of Fame guy, Lou Lamoriello is the same thing in my book, no question about it.
Agreed. Totally agreed.
Yeah.
Yep.
I want to hear what your feelings are because I know you're following it. This new regime of Islanders where we have we're in a playoff spot. Hopefully, we continue to be one. The last few days are going to be very telling, but. I want to hear you gush about Matthew Schaefer because I know you're going to. So go ahead.
If only I had been able to skate like Matthew Schaefer.
He can go over the wall. I heard.
Can he ever?
Yeah.
The talent. I mean, we talk so much about the skating ability. You have to be able to skate in today's game. It's all about speed and up the ice. He is so smart. We talked about Gretzky over the years, how he read the play, saw what was going to happen before it happened, maybe a play or two ahead. Matthew Schneider is the same in that respect. He can see the play develop. He's in the right spot, and if it doesn't work the way he thinks it's going to, he has that ability, that speed to get back and be there to break up a play. He's got a shot like I don't think I've seen an 18-year-old shoot the puck with the accuracy or the speed, the velocity that he brings. He is. Well, he's the new franchise.
He adds so much to this team, and I even just the last couple of years, not even just him, just the team itself. I haven't seen a faster team than they have this year.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Him, Barzal. These guys are flying all over the place. Yeah,
and he's just such a nice kid, and I love watching him. I love watching his interviews.
Yeah, that's a good point. Have you gotten it? I mean, obviously you're in Florida now. You're not around the team anymore so much, but have you got a chance to know him at all? Have you talked to him at all?
Just a shake of the hand and a quick hi.
Yeah.
I know you're from Hamilton. I'm from the same area in Ontario. Big smile and good luck. Have fun. That was the day of the Pat LaFontaine Hall of Fame induction at the Coliseum as I shook hands going back down the bench before the game got underway.
Yeah.
Over and above Matthew, the job that the new general manager did with the deal of Dobson to Montreal, and getting the draft picks back, getting Heineman. But getting Heineman was a brilliant move.
Sure.
But the 2 draft picks, I'm told that, and this is from people in Ontario, the area that I worked in and still go back and forth to and have family in. Um, the big defenseman in Barry Atchison.
Yeah, he just signed recently. He signed a 3-year
Yes.
deal. Yeah.
And Eklund is already over here playing at Bridgeport.
Yeah.
Those two draft picks, plus Iserman,
Yep.
and a kid by the name of Nelson, are going to be members of this hockey team. If not next season, then 2 seasons down the line. The youth movement is developing.
Yeah.
It's coming, and it is. Yes, you hit it. It's real.
I love
2
that.
years when Matthew Schaefer's still only 20 years old.
He still can't drink yet legally. I love that. Jigs,
I love that he's living with Matt and Martin.
Well, I was going to say,
like,
that's a great point. Like, obviously, when Schaefer came here, he had a chance to live really with anyone. The fact that he decided to move in with Matt Martin and Boomer Esiason's daughter, Sydney, and the kids, and he's really entrenched himself as part of that family. And it's just such an incredibly beautiful story. How significant do you think that's been to his development so far?
Absolutely top. To have him in an apartment or bunking in a couple of players together wouldn't have had the same effect whatsoever. The guidance of Matty, the family lifestyle at home, his adopted home for the season.
Matty walks in, he's playing with the kids.
Yeah,
yeah, riding their tricycles around.
Exactly.
I love it.
Oh, I do too. I think it's, and I got to speak with Matt. And again, that was the LaFontaine event. Matty came into the area that I was watching the third period, I think, and we just chatted. He had nothing but stellar things to say about the makeup of Matthew and how he had fit in and was just so gracious and couldn't be a better fit for the New York Islanders.
It's awesome. Even Boomer Esiason, a diehard Ranger fan's like, I love this kid.
He loves them, and you know what? Obviously, with the Rangers not making it, I know Greg Giannotti kind of was putting Boomer on the spot yesterday. Do you want the Islanders to make the playoffs? And while he, as a diehard Ranger fan, it's not that easy for him to say that, but you know that he wants to see this kid. Obviously, Matt Martin still works for the franchise, so of course he wants to see his family do well.
And you can't not love Matthew Schaefer.
Yeah, no, he is. And of course, when the auction was going off for Schaefer's jersey the other night, all of a sudden people had money in their pocket.
And what an investment.
Yeah.
What an investment that was.
People said if Schaefer was there, that would have went for $4,500.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That was a really, really wonderful event. And Jigs, tell us what's. We're not going to keep you all night. I know it's getting late, but what's a day like in the life of Jigs these days? Obviously, thank God you're still healthy and well and active. But what's your day-to-day life like these days?
Well, the last few days have been battling an automobile manufacturer over the Florida lemon law.
Oh, Jesus. Goodness.
Some shopping today. I did some shopping, but golf. Mondays, the guys and I play 18 holes. Wow. We play 9 on Thursday afternoons and then out for dinner. Housework, planning meals, making meals, laundry.
If anybody ever gets sick and you need a fourth for that golf game, I'm in.
That's that. Absolutely. Do you have? Is it just guys that you met down in Florida, or these are some NHL guys, or just people you met along the way?
It's actually, it goes back to Islander trainer, the late Ron Waske. Ron and Peggy, his wife, were wintering here at a condo complex, probably 5 or 6 miles away. We saw one another on a regular basis. They liked the community that I'm living in and rented here for the next season. So next season, I think it was probably late October, it had to be later than that because I was on the road in Vancouver filling in for Howie when Ron got in touch and he said, "You're playing golf when you get back." I said, "No, I'm not. I don't play golf." "Yeah, you do. You're playing golf with these guys." I said, "I'm not a golfer. I have a hack and whack, and I have no idea where the ball's going. It probably isn't going to go very far, and I haven't played in years." "Well, you're playing. Plan as soon as you get back, you're playing." At that time, I think there was probably 4 or 5 of the guys that were in this group. who were Canadian. The rest were from Minnesota, upstate New York, Wisconsin, tick, tick, tick. There's probably as many as four foursomes at one time, and we would go out and just bang the ball around. And little by little, we've added one or two, lost several, folks who no longer live in the community, others who have passed away. But it became the fun thing to do because of Wask. He just said, "Yeah, McDonald, you're playing." Sure.
And that's that.
Yeah, and now of course we're getting into April, and I'll be the lone man here. I turn out the lights as everybody goes north, and don't play as much in the summer. It's just too hot, too humid here.
But I'm sure you got a nice little swimming pool in the community, and you probably get some nice relaxation in.
Out the door here. Oh, there's a small pool out there at the back here of this house, and
yeah,
that's
fantastic. Hey, like the Hersh was saying, we do want to be respectful of your time. I just did have one thing I wanted to touch on.
Sure, please.
I know. Listen, we're diehard Islander fans, and but we are partial. Like you got to admit, one of the greatest hockey players, defenseman Bobby Orr. You got to watch him when he was a kid. Is there any truth with that? When he was
That's
a
true.
14-year-old kid.
I was the district convener for the Georgian Bay Minor Hockey Association. Had teams in Huntsville, Perry Sound, Midland, Penetang, Orillia, a couple of other communities. Bobby was bantam age, and the rules were you could move up one category. Bantam could play midget, but you couldn't move up from bantam to juvenile, which would be 16 to 18. And Perry Sound came to Orillia one night with not enough players for the juvenile game, and their coach came to me begging that the kid, as he called him, the kid be able to play. I said, "No, the kid can't play." Well, he said, "You're being very unfair to the parents of your local boys." What do you mean? He said, "Well, they've come out, grandparents, aunts, uncles, they've come out to see their boys play hockey tonight, and you're not going to let them." Oh, boy. So the pressure was on. He promised that he wouldn't play him much. Bobby didn't leave the ice as a bantam. I think he got maybe 2 shifts off as a midget player, 14 to 16. And then moving up, he played probably all but, I'm going to guess, 4 or 5 times that he got a rest. And then I've got the local folks not happy with me because he just dominated even the juvenile game. Why would I do that? Why would I? Well, so I'm caught. But yeah, I saw him play. We've talked about that story, and Bobby said, every night I had to ride in the front seat with the coach, even though my dad was coming to the game and driving players in our car. I had to ride with Bucko, and every night we stopped at a truck stop, no matter where we were going to play, and it was a hot roast beef sandwich, apple pie and ice cream, and a milkshake, and then on to wherever to play.
Incredible. Well, and then the kid revolutionized the game of hockey.
And it's interesting. This is the second time in about 2 months that we're talking about Bobby Orr. I'm not sure if you're familiar with her, but about a month ago, we interviewed a legendary New England sports reporter named Karen Egregian. Yeah, so she was wonderful, and she told us a wonderful story that as a young reporter, the first person to really give her an opportunity and pulled her aside and said, "Let's go ahead and talk," was a well-retired Bobby Orr. And Karen spoke with that story with such reverence about him, and so I love that you have a connection to him as well.
Yeah, we've lost contact a little bit over the last couple of years. He's moved from the New England area and moved out of his Florida place as well. And he's kind of cut ties, and it's unfortunate. It's a political motivated thing. Not too happy with some people who criticized after his endorsement several years ago.
Yeah.
So he's gone underground a little bit.
Yeah.
But if I'm sure through Eddie, or if I needed to twist an arm for charity, he would be there. Well, he was. I was always, like you started at the opening tonight, Mr. McDonald. When first got to LA in '67. He had a season under his belt, but when the Bruins came in, then I made a point of going to see him, and Mr. McDonald, Mr. Bobby.
Yeah.
Nowadays, it's not Mr. And again, it's Jigs. It's what? But we've had some fun over the years.
Well, Jigs, we, myself and the Keegs and Tony, we are so honored to be able to spend this time with you, and certainly we are giddy little kids back in 1981 when we see you at Think Happy, and we can't wait to see you again with the entire Pesner family. And listen, I don't mean this. This is not just a throwaway line, but when I say that myself and my friends and Mike and Tony, we truly have love for you because you are a significant part of our lives from the time we were little kids. We really do cherish you. You are an icon, and thank you for your time. And we hope to talk to you again once down the road.
You're most welcome, boys. I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
and I look forward to seeing you, as you say, down the road.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jigs. Have a good night.
So
Take care.
You too.
Bye now. That was Jigs McDonald, legendary play-by-play announcer for the NHL. The Herschy and the Keegs show hits it again.
We did it, but I also do want to thank Frank Locano.
Listen, man, we don't know Jigs without Frank Locano and the Pesner family and the Think Happy organization. Yeah. Wonderful people, wonderful organization. We're going to be part of it, for every single year that they have the event. And again, as I told Frankie over the weekend, I think it would be nice a few weeks leading up to next year's event that if Allison, Karen, Frank, Stan likes to kind of lay a little bit, behind the weeds a little bit.
We'll get him in.
But they are a blessing of a family, and it's an honor to know them, and certainly it was an honor to talk to Jigs. And I do like, by the way, that I can tell you're doing like a little research now, like the Bobby
Orr thing.
I like that.
I'm a little excited about having Jigs on there.
Yeah, man, I love that. And so. The Think Happy event was we had, strangely, Mike and I wound up at the Nassau Coliseum last week, 3 days in a row, which is like, I haven't been there 3 times in like years, obviously.
The first night was like, it was a last minute thing for both of us also.
Literally an hour in advance for me.
So that was Sunday.
Yeah.
They have a chocolate expo there. I went with my girlfriend and you went with your wife.
Yep, exactly.
We missed each other. We didn't know each other were there.
Just by like a half
hour.
Until
you took that picture with Urkel.
Yeah, I took a picture with Todd Bridges, who
played Urkel, and Jimmy Walker also.
It was funny. Stacy, so Todd Bridges from Different Strokes was sitting there, and he was just by himself, and there was no one there talking to him or anything like that. And I very, very much with conviction said, I'm going to go pay $40 for us to take a picture. She's like, you what? Like, you? And I'm like, and I had no hesitation, because similar in a different vein that Jigs McDonald is such a strong part of the fiber of our childhood. Yeah. Different Strokes, Todd Bridges, Gary Coleman, Dana Plato was also, right? So I not only got a chance to take a picture with Todd Bridges, but we spoke for about 10 minutes also.
Awesome. He might be coming on.
Yeah, so we went from speaking to Todd Bridges on Sunday, me harassing Jim Lehritz to the point where he wanted to hide.
There might be a picture floating around of you harassing Jim Lehritz also.
Yeah, that was me on one knee.
Why were you on one? Were you proposing to him? Were you trying to give him?
He was sitting down, and I didn't want him to feel like he had to stand up to talk to me, so I just knelt down and But when I tell you, like, listen, either he's really, really a good actor, or he was genuinely intrigued by the fact that I was asking him about players that he played with as a young player.
I will tell you one thing that I noticed.
Yeah.
So we were walking from the parking lot in. He was walking in at the same time. Yeah. And he could have just went, all right, guys, I got to get in there.
Yeah.
He walked over to us.
Yeah.
Because he's like, why? What do you have to do? You want to say something? You want to talk?
Yeah.
I have no idea how you handled yourself like this, because you're more of a nebbish.
Yeah.
But you said, no, go get yourself settled, and then we'll talk to you later.
It was just the three of us walking into an empty parking lot, and I'm like, hey, Jimmy, what's up? And he's like, hey, what's up, guys? And me and Mark were just talking. He's like, Jimmy Lay. I'm like,
I know he's downstairs probably somewhere.
Say that. Mike's like, yeah, he's downstairs. I'm like,
no, he's right there.
He's right here.
And Jim's like, hey, what's up, guys? You want to talk? Like he was cool. Like that's how I could tell he was genuinely.
Well, so what I said to him was, I have a story to tell you about '95, and essentially the story was I had only been dating Stacy for a few months, and I said, oh, I'm going to take you to a Yankee game, and she's like, well, I'm starting a new job tomorrow, and I'm like, nah, we'll be home plenty of time. And it turned out that it was Game 2 of the '95 World Series, playoffs, I should say, against the Mariners. The Jimmy Leyrit's home run was at 1:15 in the morning. We got home at 3 o'clock back to East Rockaway, and obviously, the story goes from there. Actually, Valley Stream at the time, but he liked hearing that story.
He loved it because he even spoke about like that kind of started the dynasty for them. And but I my story to him was the same thing. And I was a little bit younger than you.
Yeah.
But I was also 12 years old.
Yeah.
And my mom let me stay up late to watch that game. And
Right,
I
you were
watched
12,
it,
and I was 22. Me and Stacey just started dating,
exactly.
So that was cool, and so we went from the Chocolate Expo to the Think Happy event, and then really another wonderful event by our dear friend Tony, who had invited us to go to the Long Island Nets game. Tony is the representative of the Nassau County Special Needs PAL unit. I got there a little bit later, but you were there on the court with them as they had a chance to, I guess, do the national anthem, or they were there for the national anthem.
I wasn't supposed to be on the court, but they thought I was one of them.
I have a quick video of all
Are you on mic or no?
Oh, yeah. I have a quick video of all you can see all the nice special needs guys lining up here. Look at them. They're all excited. They're all happy to be here. Look. Right there, special. Look how happy that guy is. Yeah, that guy.
Oh, good for him.
Happy to be there.
That made his day.
Well,
absolutely.
You guys, I'm sure, I had some stuff going on, and Stacy had injured her leg, and I don't think you guys expected me to show up.
We didn't because we
yeah.
Listen, so they were only seating people on like half the stadium.
Right. Yeah.
So we walk all the way over our seats, and then we realize the concession stand was on the other side.
Yeah.
So we get to the concession stand, and we're like, if Mark comes now, like he's not getting his ticket because we have it back at the seats.
Yeah.
And Tony's wife said, no, I have his ticket here.
Yeah.
So then we get the food, we get back to the seats. I'm like, well, if he comes now, we're definitely not walking all the way over there.
Right, 'cause it's far.
He's not gonna have a ticket.
Yeah.
And then you show up, and I'm like, how'd you get your
Yeah,
ticket?
I scanned the ticket.
He's scanned his little ticket in
I
there.
always, I didn't need it, but and the funny thing was, as soon as I got there, I decided to bum rush the PA announcer.
Oh my god!
And you guys like, what in the world is he doing? Because after I had gone to the Net game 2 weeks before, I had reached out to the Long Island Nets have a new PA announcer, a young guy named Andres. He's maybe 30 years old.
Phenomenal.
He's terrific, and he's going to be going places, no doubt about it. And I messaged him on Instagram, like, hey man, I just want to let you know that I know you're new to this business, but you sounded great. And he's like, next time you're here, come say hello to me. And I was like, all right. And so our seats were literally footsteps away from him. Yeah.
Because I know he's new.
Yeah.
I thought it was my friend Alex Anthony, who's been
used to do
for
it.
years and years. I'm like, because
yeah.
this guy sounds polished.
Yeah.
He's great. He has a little bit that he does where he does karaoke at like third period and stuff.
And
the kid was great.
And the best part, the reason why I reached out to him, and I told him, I said, you're funnier than any comedian I've ever heard, because he gets very excited when the Nets score a point, but when another team, he's like, Jim Johnson with 2 points. Like, he gets very, very downtrodden about it. So I thought it was hilarious. So we had a good experience there. I mean, secretly, Mike and I were hoping, just as a little bit of a flashback, that we mentioned it to Tony and his wife. I think she got a kick out of it. We talked about it on the show a couple of years ago, but Tony was mauled in the bathroom of an event by a special needs patron of his.
Yeah.
And secretly, Mike and I were hoping that he was
there.
This young man was going to be there. So
I even asked Tony a couple times, like, is that the one?
yeah. We were secretly hoping that he pulverized Tony right in the middle of the court.
I mean, is that the one? Because I can instigate this right now. I can get him to headbutt you again.
Yeah. Tony said you're a jerk.
Well, Tony said John Cena sucks.
The funny thing is, The funny thing, by the way, was that I thought, and you and I both thought this, that there happened to be a gentleman who was sitting in front of us who wouldn't stop talking, and he wouldn't stop talking to us the whole time. And like, I don't know if he had like a speech impediment or some sort of an overbite, but I couldn't understand a fucking word he said the whole time. Like,
I thought he had like a French accent.
Yeah, so Keegan's like, I thought he was French, and I'm like, he's not French.
I'm like, Tony, he's with you guys, right? He goes, no. You guys just here with his son and his grandkid.
Tony's like, no, we're in the last row of our seats. This other guy has nothing to do with us at all. He was just there with his family. And I was like, because sometimes I don't hear. I'm getting older. I don't hear that great. I'm like, maybe it's just me. No. And I'll ask the guys after when it's over. They're like, we didn't. Tony's like, I didn't understand one fucking word he said.
And he was Mike's just like one of those guys who was eavesdropping on our conversation the whole time.
Every
and when he heard something, you could just see him go.
Yeah,
he's gonna talk to us again. Yeah. Jesus Christ!
Let us follow a free fall. And I'm like, what?
I thought the same thing. I thought it was me. I couldn't understand him either.
I know.
But Mike wasn't even joking when Mike's like, no, he's French, and I'm like, no, he's not French. He's from Hicksville. He's not from French, you fucking idiot. So that was cool. We had a really good time with that.
Days. I'll tell you one thing you're wrong about at that chocolate expo is the pickles. I got those pickles from that guy.
Oh, the dills? I didn't like. We didn't like them.
They were phenomenal. I got the full
$15 flight. Yeah. So you got it's like
not the flight. I got the vat.
But was it like a garlic dill?
It's a garlic dill.
Oh, so
I think you might have gotten the different.
I don't know. We like at our house. We like the full garlic pickles. Yeah. So you like the little bit of a dill.
I'll tell you one thing. Heather got the. Did you see the guy that's selling that pesto?
Oh, yeah.
She got one of those, and I guess she got a couple bucks off the second one, so she gave me the second one. I made a skirt steak the other night.
Oh,
and
man.
I put that pesto on top of that. Oh, my God.
Well, can I just tell you what I did? And I don't know if you even had this by the time I got there, they were sold out. I don't know if they were sold out when you got there, but there was a stand that was selling something called, it was salsa parmesan.
You told me about that.
So hold on. So this was so by the time we got there at 1:00, they were sold out of all of their jars of it. Okay, but they still had samples. So I tasted it. I'm like, how do I get this stuff? And she's like, well, you can order it on my website. I'm based out in like the Hamptons, somewhere that area. She said that this year they brought twice as many jars as they did to last year's event, and they still sold out. Yeah. So it turns out that she actually has it in a couple of shops on Long Island, and one of them was Gina, who we both know, Gina Caggiano. Yeah. But it was her shop.
Let It Breed cheese merchants in Rockville Center. Yeah,
Let It Breed. But so I was going to leave the Coliseum and drive with Stacy to get a jar of it.
Really? Yeah.
But it turns out that her shop was closed at 3. So then I went home and I ordered it online. $20 for a little salsa jar, $7 for shipping and handling, but it's heaven in a jar.
You've had it.
Oh, it's at home right now. You can stop by if you want.
I'm going to be in Long Beach, I think, on Thursday. Or maybe I'll stop down Rockville Center. And,
dude, you have to get a jar. It's just called salsa parmesan or parmesan salsa.
Sounds amazing. That's right up my alley.
Totally amazing. And I can't believe we're at 10:00. Although I did want to tell one funny story that I think I might have previewed to you about me and Richie Byrne the other night. So my baby Anna came home from school the other day. She's on spring break, and then she was going to Florida on. I guess it was 3 days ago. Her and her friends needed a ride to the airport. So her two best friends and her, I had to pick them up in Seaford. And long story short, I picked them up at 2:00 in the morning, dropped them off at LaGuardia at like 2:35, made sure that they were in because there was still the bedlam of TSA going on. But all I wanted was to make sure they were getting inside the airport because people were telling us they were closed. You couldn't get in. Yeah. I watched them get in. It was fine. So now it's like 2:45 in the morning, and I'm driving home by myself, to Long Island, and I'm like, I got to do something. Like, I'm jittery here. So I call up WFAN. What do I always do, right? Yeah. So Anthony Gallo is the guy. He's like an overnight guy on the weekends or whatever. And obviously his phone was not ringing very often because it rang, they picked up, they said, we'll put you on hold, and I was on the air by 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
So as I do, and this has happened to me for 30 plus years, when I'm on the fan, I immediately, when I'm done, I usually look at my phone because there's usually like, hey, you jerk off, I just heard you on Mike and the Mad Dog, or I heard you on this one. But at 3:15 in the morning, I'm like, there's no one's texting me at 3:15 in the morning. So I get home, I look at my phone, Richie Burns like, hey, jerk off, what are you doing up there? So as I text Richie Byrne, I'm like, who's the bigger loser here? Me for calling or you?
She's doing family things. Like, what's he doing? What the hell is he doing?
I mean, the truth is, it's pretty even. I'm calling FAN at 3 a.m. and so it was kind of hilarious. But so that was that. I have some other things to talk about, but we'll just save them for next week because next week's show we have. I don't know if this is someone that you have worked with, Mike, but it's one of my favorite comedians, one of my favorite writers. He's a Comedy Cellar regular. To me, he's one of the top comedians in the country. We have Dan Natterman coming on the show.
Never worked with him. Love him, though.
Yeah, he's a really... Have you ever had Natterman on the show or met Natterman at all?
I think I may have met him, but I don't think he's been...
He's not around Gubs a lot, but he's been around. But anyway,
guy.
I reached out to Dan Natterman, and listen, I even put the other day up on Facebook that I reached out to the actor who plays Byron Hadley from Shawshank, and I haven't heard back from him. But, I reached out to Natterman, like, thinking it was just kind of a stab in the dark, because he's pretty big time. And he's like, yeah, man, I'd love to come on. So awesome. So he's going to be on April 7th next week.
He's a brilliant guy.
Yeah, so listen, with no further ado, I like to be respectful of Tony and his time. So thank you as always for the great production work, Tony. Thank you to, once again, Think Happy, to Frank Loicano, to Stan Pesner, to Allison Pesner, to Karen Pesner. Please go to Think Happy's website. You can make a donation there. You can see all the wonderful things these people are doing for kids who have suffered from some form of bereavement, losing a parent, losing a friend, something like that. And the money that you will go ahead and contribute will go to buying them something nice or paying for a trip or a computer or so many wonderful things. So if you really want to give back and feel good about yourself, please go ahead and go on to Think Happy, and you'll see some wonderful things on there. And again, thanks to Jigs McDonald for really a wonderful period of time with us. He was sensational. And let's close it out, Mike, with anything you have coming up, governors wise or out of town wise.
April, we got Easter coming up, so it's a dead week. April 18th, I'll be back at Crystal Springs in Hamburg, New Jersey.
Beautiful.
Crystal Springs Resort. That's going to be fun. April 25th, though, I'm back here in the Giggle Room at Governor's. It's a Mike Keegan and Friends show. We got a great show coming up. So April 25th at Governor's. The tickets are on sale now. And then we're working on something, but I think it's going to be May 21st. But we're trying to do a show at the brokerage with our buddy who was on last week, 2 weeks, Michael Paris.
Okay, so am I going to be? Am I expected to be on that?
You're expected to be on it.
May 21st.
We're going to do music comedy.
Yeah.
Michael Paris. We're trying for May 21st because that's kind of his only open Thursday.
Oh, a Thursday. So we have to make sure that there's no fundraiser happening.
I made sure today, so I'm going to message the club tomorrow. Okay. Hopefully they'll let us do it. It's going to be music comedy, starring Michael Paris from OAR.
Okay.
And then it'll be me, you, Tony will be, of course, welcome on there.
Yeah.
And then Richie Byrne, Eric Haft, because they're both professional musicians, and we want to do a whole
So will Richie, will they both do music and comedy?
They both do music and comedy. My vision for it is at the end, they just do a big jam. Richie sings, Eric plays drums, Michael does his guitar drum.
But you've been known to get behind the mic or something.
There may be a little special appearance by Mike Keegan.
All right,
throwing a little backing vocals in, maybe.
All right, good.
But
Very
we're
good.
going to try for that. But the most important thing, April 25th, right here in the Giggle Room.
Okay, wonderful. Tony, go ahead and tell us what's going on with Knock 'em Dead Comedy.
Thank you, pal. Also, April 25th at the brokerage, we got a fun murder mystery happening, but it's late. It's a late show. It's 9:45. So go see Mike in the Giggle Room, and then come on over to the brokerage in Belmore and enjoy a mob-themed comedic audience interactive murder mystery show.
For anyone who hasn't seen these shows, by the way, all I can tell you is the audience feedback from Tony's shows is like blown away. So please
I've been
go ahead
audience, and they're awesome.
And you've been part of the cast too, I think. No?
I was a part of the cast in one of them, but 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 I was audience, and it's awesome, especially at a place like the Brokerage, which is an awesome venue for it.
Nice.
So how awesome would that be? Come to my show here, and then go to see Tony do the murder mystery afterwards.
Wow.
That's a hell of a night.
That's a fun night.
If you're taking your girl out there, you're getting laid that night.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Well, speaking of girls and getting laid, tomorrow on the Knock and Dead Comedy Show, Richie Byrne is coming.
Oh hell yeah!
Wow.
There you go. All right,
Nice.
he'll
Good.
lay you.
Very
Yeah,
good.
absolutely.
Okay. All right, folks. We will not keep any more of your time up, but we thank you for watching and listening and sharing and all that good stuff. And we will see you back next week with Dan Natterman on Tuesday, April the 7th. Have a good night, everybody.
Thank you very much.